All right, let's get right into it. If you're trying to choose the right project management software, you know it can feel, well, a little overwhelming. You've got this heavyweight champion Microsoft project that's been around forever, and then you have this whole new wave of modern collaborative tools. So today, we're going to break it all down and figure out which one is actually the right fit for you and your team. We've all been there, right? The deadline's getting closer, things are slipping through the cracks, and the whole project just feels like it's going sideways. And you can't help but ask yourself, did we mess up the plan? Or is the software we're using to manage that plan actually the thing that's holding us back? It's a huge question, and a lot of the time, the answer is hidden in the DNA of the tool itself. You see, these tools aren't just a random collection of features. They really represent two totally different philosophies on how work should get done. And it makes sense, because the way we work has changed so much. We've moved from these rigid top-down structures to much more dynamic, collaborative teams, and our tools have had to change right along with us. If you look back, project management used to be this very specialized thing. It was a world of complex Gantt charts, those big bar charts that map out a project's timeline, and it was all handled by a dedicated project manager. But today, work is way more collaborative. With the rise of agile methods, we suddenly needed tools that the entire team could jump into and use easily. And the future? Well, it's heading toward platforms that are even more integrated, flexible, and honestly, a lot smarter. So what you have are two totally different mindsets. There's the traditional, top-down approach. That's all about super detailed planning, timelines, and a project manager controlling all the resources. Then you've got the modern, team-based approach. This one's all about being flexible, getting real-time updates, and making sure the tool is easy for everyone on the team to use. One is really built for control, the other is built for collaboration. Okay, so keeping those two philosophies in mind, let's actually meet the key players that represent these different ways of working. We've got the long-reigning champ and a couple of its toughest modern competitors. First up, the legend itself, Microsoft Project. The best way to think of this is as the powerful architect's tool. This is a serious enterprise-level solution for professionals who need to manage every single tiny detail. We're talking complex timelines, strict budgets, resource leveling, which is just a fancy way of making sure you don't overwork your team, and all those critical task dependencies. Where task B can't even start until task A is completely finished. This is the go-to for seasoned project managers running huge initiatives. Now, on the complete other end of the spectrum, you've got Microsoft Planner. This one is the team collaborator. It's a super simple, visual, Kanban-style app. Think of it like a digital whiteboard with columns for to do, in progress, and done. It's not about deep, complex planning. It's all about giving teams an easy, shared space to see what everyone's working on and track progress together. And then there's a really interesting challenger called Smartsheet. Let's call this one the flexible spreadsheet. What it does is kind of brilliant. It takes a familiar spreadsheet format that everybody already knows how to use and then builds powerful project management features right on top of it. So you get different project views, automation, and real-time teamwork, all without a massive learning curve. It's perfect for teams that need more power than Excel, but don't want to learn a whole new complex system. Okay, now that we know the players, let's really get into it. Let's compare them on the three things that probably matter most to you when you're making this decision. How hard is it to use? How good is it for teamwork? And, of course, how much is this all going to cost? Right away, you see a huge difference here. Microsoft Project is incredibly powerful, no doubt about it. But all that power comes with a really steep learning curve. You pretty much need formal training or a deep understanding of project management methodologies to get the most out of it. On the other hand, tools like Planner and Smartsheet are designed so your team can just jump in and start using them from day one. That means faster adoption and people getting work done almost immediately. And this is another area where the philosophies really clash. Planner and Smartsheet, they were born in the cloud. They were designed from the ground up for teamwork. Things like real-time updates, comments, and attaching files, that's just part of their DNA. Microsoft Project, though, started its life as a desktop program for a single planner. And while it has cloud versions now, its core is still really focused on one person doing the planning, not on the whole team collaborating instantly. A great way to think about this is to ask yourself what kind of vehicle you need. Is your project a massive construction job that needs a giant freight truck to haul a heavy, complicated load with precision? That's Microsoft Project. Or is your work more like a series of daily errands that need a versatile teen van that everyone can hop into? That's Planner and Smartsheet. It's the perfect tool for agile software teams or marketing departments.
Okay, let's talk about the money because the pricing here really tells a story. Smartsheet and Project both have different plans that get more expensive as you add features. But the thing you really need to see here is Microsoft Planner. For a lot of companies, if you're already using Microsoft 365, you might already have Planner included. That can make it feel like a free and really obvious place to start.
And this chart just makes the cost difference crystal clear. Look at the entry point for Planner, which you get through a Microsoft 365 plan, compared to the mid and high-end plans for Project. I mean, the jump is huge. That $55 per user per month plan for Project is for a completely different world of needs than the simple task management you're getting with Planner. And just to really drive the point home, if you wanted to go old school and buy the desktop software outright, the classic version, a single license of Project Professional 2024 will set you back more than $1,100. That is a serious upfront investment, and it just goes to show you what kind of enterprise-level tool we're talking about. So, after all that, what's the takeaway? It might seem like a simple choice between old school and new school, but hold on, there's actually a really fascinating plot twist happening right now that could change everything. Yeah, the future isn't actually a battle to the death between these tools. It's becoming a hybrid. Microsoft isn't just letting Project and Planner live in their own separate little worlds. They're starting to bring them together in some very, very interesting ways. So what does that actually mean for you? Well, it means Microsoft is taking some of the most powerful key features from Project and building them directly into the easy-to-use Planner experience. We're talking about things like timeline views and even task dependencies. The classic hallmarks of serious project management suddenly showing up in the simple collaborative tool. Their goal is to give teams the best of both worlds. So keeping that hybrid future in mind, here's a really simple 3-step framework to help you make the right choice today. First, just be honest about your project's complexity. Are you building a skyscraper or running a marketing campaign? Second, look at how your team actually works. Are you more traditional and sequential, or are you agile and collaborative? And third, look at the software you already have. If your whole company lives and breathes Microsoft 365, that's a massive factor. So let's just break it down. Choose MS Project if you're in a formal project management environment, like large-scale construction or engineering, where you absolutely need deep, critical path analysis and resource management. But for almost everyone else, agile developers, marketing teams, any group that needs flexibility, ease of use, and real-time collaboration, a modern tool like Planner or Smartsheet is almost certainly going to be the better choice. Ultimately, it really does boil down to this one simple question. Do you need a tool for a specialized architect who's designing a complex blueprint, or do you need a tool for a whole team of collaborators to work together side by side in real time? Once you answer that, you'll know exactly which tool is right for you.